Hello, and welcome to a review on the Braava Jet M6. So, I picked up this mop about 2 weeks ago and did an unboxing video and an initial setup video. In that initial setup, you guys may have seen I had a little bit of problems connecting it to the network. So, I cut the video and figured out what was going on. Turns out it was actually my network. I tried moving the base closer to my Wi-Fi. It still didn't connect. I took the robot itself over literally right next to my router and modem. Didn't do anything. So I reset my modem. As soon as I did that, waited about 5 minutes, tried again, and connected right away. So it wasn't a problem with the robot itself. I wanted to make that clear. I was connecting to a 2.4 gigahertz network. So that's for those that aren't real familiar with the iRobot products. I've heard there's problems with the 5 gigahertz networks. I've used it. It seems to work fine for me, but it was definitely not. That wasn't the issue. It was an issue with my router. I use one provided to me by my cable company. So after a quick refresh, it actually worked right away. So if you are having a problem in your setup, try checking your router and resetting that first. So I have set up the robot in my dining room. Have not set up any schedules as I have two. As I mentioned, I have two dogs, so I want to avoid going through any solid waste of theirs. Um, what's been nice is when I have run my S9 in, I'll run that. It asks me if I want to run my M6 right after, and I select yes, so it'll do the S9 does its job. Once it's done, it automatically starts the M6 and will clean my dining room, my kitchen, and my laundry room and my bathroom as well. In those four rooms, I only have one transition, and that is from the kitchen to the bathroom has a metal or a thin metal transition. It has got caught on there once or twice, but more often than not, it has gone straight to the bathroom as well, and I haven't had problems. So that was one of the questions I had coming into it was how is it going to handle that transition? Just because with I know my vacuum robot has no problem with it, but it's also a little bit higher, or sits a little bit higher, and it doesn't have that front mopping pad where it's gonna where that could catch or is more likely to catch, I should say. So the plus sides from what I have seen, it is real easy for me to hit that mop button. I don't always have to vacuum. I've been using it pretty much on a daily basis, maybe every other day, mainly due to my our smaller dog, our puppy, her pet messes. So when she still has accidents in the house, I will clean those up. Once it's cleaned up, it's a just I want to basically go over and sanitize that area, so that way she doesn't keep continuing making those messes. Grab my phone, hit clean dining room or clean kitchen, wherever it happens to be. 10-20 minutes, it's done. I have a pretty small dining room and kitchen area, and I'm good to go. I'm not having to worry about refilling the tank right away, just because it can, you know, I can do that. My whole section of the house is about half my tank. I think it's only about 200 square feet total for what it mops out or maps out to be. And overall, it does a good job. I've been doing the heavy cleaning, and haven't noticed any problems. I see other people mentioning streaking, where it leaves almost like a film behind, or you can see the tire marks from it. Now, I haven't seen that. I have linoleum floors, so maybe it's just hidden in the patterns, but my floors have come out great. So, like I said, real easy to fill the tank. It gives you the instructions. With that initial bottle, it is half the bottle in there and fill the tank with water. Um, after you go to the official iRobot cleaning solution, it's 6 capfuls. Now, with that, being me, I'm not the most careful person. Did struggle a little bit to make sure I got the full cap full in there. Sometimes a little shaky handed, or just that transition going from the cap to the tank itself. An improvement, maybe some sort of, funnel in the cap, or a um, like a pre-tank that I've seen in other liquids that I've used. Like a winterizer I've used has it, where you actually fill the, it's part of the bottle, but you fill that tank, and that's actually what pours out. So not necessarily a bad thing. For a lot of you, probably have a funnel laying around. I just didn't grab one that day, and it's worked out fine. It worked out. I had a little bit of mess, but paper towel cleans right up. Other things, I have strictly only done the mopping or the wet mopping feature. I don't live in a dusty area, so I don't really do the dry mopping too much. I don't see me using that. If I'm gonna mop, I'm gonna wet mop. Um, right now, I actually have it on a test of my basement. I had a construction crew come in and do some internal work probably 2 3 years ago, and I don't use my basement much, so I've swept it. I've never mopped down there. Right now, I have it going cleaning that, so it's got some dirt down there that is actually dried into the concrete itself. So we're gonna see how that comes up. I already had my S9 down there, and it did a full vacuum of the whole basement. So we're gonna see how that turns out for you, and I'll have another video and let you know how that does. A couple of the downsides that I've seen, that they're not bad things, they're just improvements I kind of would like to see. I love my S9 Plus. I'll do a video on that shortly, so that way you guys can find out exactly why I love it. But taking some of those features, I would love to see a different type of base for the M6 itself, where I can fill that water or dump a full thing of solution in, and it automatically refills its own tank. I know that's probably unlikely to see, but it would make that mixture for me a lot. It's a lot simpler for me to dump in a full bottle of cleaning solution and add a gallon of water, and when it's ready, it's ready, or when it needs to be refilled, it automatically refills itself. I would like to see that on a home base or improvement or upgrade. Obviously, it can't be done with the current base, so it would need to be a totally separate base. Um, but as we've seen with the S9 and the i7, they're not. iRobot is not opposed to coming out with a base at a later time. As far as the robot, it's pretty simple. You have your tank, your base unit, and where you plug in your mopping head. The nice part is it's pre-coded that it can detect which mopping head it has. What I would like to see as far as the mopping head would be a little a stronger and more coarse mopping head for the wet mopping, um, to maybe simulate a little bit more of a scrubbing feature. It does a good job in my dining room and stuff, because I've already hit it. I'm hitting it shortly after the messes, and I'm hitting it, you know, right away. I'm not letting juice dry, or a grape juice dry on my floor for 3 days. I don't know how it would do with that. Frankly, I'm not going to test that, because I'm not going to leave grape juice laying on my floor for 3 days. But with it cleaning the basement, what I did see is it's spraying the dirt, and it will wipe some of it up. But I would like to see a coarser head for a little bit of a deeper clean sometimes. Now, this doesn't have to be all the time. I still like the wet mopping head as it is, so that way it does the job that it currently is. But sometimes we have those little more difficult stains, or We want to do a deeper, rougher clean of things. Um, I've been running my M6 all week. My girlfriend really wanted me to get a nice deep clean of our dining room this week, or our dining room and kitchen. So I emptied out, the kitchen table, the dog kennels, everything. Took them outside. Um, Brought in a scrubbing brush that I have, mopped the floors, scrubbed them real good, and this wasn't a knock on the M6. This is simply because we wanted a deeper, one of those one-time deeper cleans that you kind of do once or twice a year. Same thing I do with my carpets. All once or twice a year, I will empty the living room of everything I can, and I will vacuum everything. So it's under the couch, under the tables, under the kid TV. Anything that is typically on the floor is out of the living room, and then I will go over it again with my carpet cleaner as well. And you really want to. It's for those. I want to see a heavier, more like an SOS type pad, or a deep clean pad to really get that once, maybe you do that once a month, or you know uh, something that hits it a little harder than this regular mopping pad. Um, that's the biggest thing I'd like to see as an improvement for iRobot. But overall, I think the robot does a great job. One other thing that I would, would suggest as an improvement, um, maybe they've tested it, maybe they haven't, but from what I see of the robot, it looks like it sprays the water out and then just kind of pushes the mopping pad over. Now it does move back and forth, but there's not a lot of side to side motion. So a some sort of scrubbing motion. Maybe that's just because that's how I'm used to cleaning. I you know I wipe down my countertops. I'm wiping them down in circles. I'm not pushing straight across and straight back. So um, you know that's one thing I love about the S9 is that front scrubbing brush that helps push that debris in from the side. Maybe some sort of either permanent placed heads on the on a future. And if you like that button, hit that bell to get notified of future videos. And until next time, have a good time.